Hey y'all, this is Gail teaching from Southeast Texas, our gentle yoga for back care class. It's both upper and lower, and of course the mid back that we kind of address in this class. A lot of us have low back pain, but some of us do have upper back pain without the low back pain. It's all very interconnected though, let me just tell you. If you have knees that are sore, hips that are sore, back that is sore, it's all up and down that chain, right? So there may be something out of alignment or more strong one side versus the other. So we're going to get started. You can do this class either seated, you can do that lying on the floor. You can also do some of the seated standing poses seated. So I'm just going to kind of give it all to you. So I'm going to stand up, move this front chair out of the way, move it out to the side. And hopefully that's not in the window. Okay, good. And then, gosh, I thought I had the room set up, but I guess I didn't. I'm going to move the chair over here to the side because I like to use the chair to come down to the floor. And I'm checking to see my yoga mat is away from the wall. So yes, this is in the recording. How about that? My high school students getting ready to go to college. So here in a couple of weeks, this room is going to be filled with college stuff. So I probably won't teach that week, but we'll get Miss Deb or Miss Sierra to teach. All right, coming over to the chair, let's step it back. We're going to come and start on our backs or seated on the chair. And always do this nice and slow because I don't want to make anything a little bit more spicy because I got spice going on in the back. And you probably do too, or maybe have some challenges. Again, we're going to be using that yoga block, the strap. And if you're brand new to class, you know what? Just do what you can with what you got. I think we do have a couple of new people signed up today. And let's get started. So we're on our backs. This is called constructive rest posture. If you're not able to get down to the floor, I do recommend this posture. It's a great one for releasing back tension. Maybe you can do it on the couch or the bed or an elevated surface. And for me, this feels strange in my body because I have my right shoulder more into the ground and my left hip because of the scoliosis. So I'll take my hand and kind of roll that shoulder up and away and do the same with the other side. Woo. And sometimes that's just not enough. So I'll walk my feet towards my behind, lift my behind, and roll my spine down because sometimes it feels a little kind of crunchy here going on here. So last week we went through the list of yoga postures pretty quick. We're going to try to do that again today. But again, figure out what helps you, what is best for you. So first, we're going to start with the breathing. So hands can be on one hand here on the low belly, one hand above that, or hands out to the side. And I like the hands on the torso so I can notice, is my belly expanding as I breathe in? Is it kind of contracting as I exhale? We're trying to get that breath initiated from the belly and then move it into the chest area so that we have more air going into the lungs, that type of thing. So here we go. Let's breathe in. Belly gets big. So I'm really trying to expand that low belly, the mid belly, the upper belly, and then exhale, belly button towards the spine. And again, inhale, belly big. And exhale, whether you're seated in the chair, whether you're here lying on your back. And again, breathe in. Breathe out. Making a little noise in the back of the throat as I inhale, breathe in. And breathe out. Next is knee to chest posture. Your hands can be back behind your thigh or thread a strap along the bottom of your foot, whether you're on your back, whether you're seated. So I'm going to squeeze my belly button really tight and lift the leg up and off and then invite that knee into the chest. So you're noticing how much of this leg is going into the hip crease, the side torso, maybe the ribs. So you're checking your range of motion. We do a lot of dropping the knees in, dropping the legs out to get that kind of external, internal rotation of the hip joint. But right now, we're just kind of lubricating it in a vertical manner. From here, we're going to squeeze the belly button towards the spine and then bring the leg somewhat straight. Now you want to have the strap along the bottom of the foot off the ground if you're seated in the chair. And then with your next inhale breath, the belly expands and you invite the knee into the chest. As you exhale, contract that belly button, extend that leg out. And then inhale, knee into chest. Exhaling, leg out. So you just keep moving, keep breathing, make it nice and smooth if you can. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge if you're feeling some stuff going on in the hip bone area and all the muscles that hold the hip in, yeah? You might notice some little crinkly stuff going on with the knee, with the hip, some popping sensation. So again, we're warming up these major joints. Ooh, I can feel the pop in my hip and a little bit of my meniscuses talking today. Meniscuses, menisci, I'm not sure what it is. And then one more, bring it in. Now, let's do a little ankle isolation by pointing and flexing the foot. Ooh. Notice it feels a little stiff in the ankle, the top of the foot, the shin, the calf, the Achilles, the back of the foot. And then let's start some little circles here, little going around shapes. And you might feel ligaments kind of moving across the ankle bone, the top of the foot. You might hear some snap, crackle, pop stuff. And then let's pause and reverse. Notice if it feels different when you reverse. For me, it feels more stiff. And then release that foot down to the floor. You know what? Sorry. Bring it back up into the air. Bring it into the air, and with your strap, with your leg, with your own power, shake that leg. And wiggle it side to side. Shake, 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 wiggle side to side, and then release it down to the floor. Very good. Let's do the other side. Again, squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Lift the leg up and off, and then invite the knee into the chest. So on this side, you're noticing, okay, is this one more into my body versus the other one? So for me, that's true. It's almost into my ribs. So so that's how I can tell the imbalance is one side versus the other. And if it's easy to do, I mean, you can force yourself to go to a place, right? But try not to force yourself to go to a place. This one's a little bit more difficult to do seated in the chair, by the way. Sometimes I'll sit on a blanket on the chair just to kind of give me a little extra tushy cushion there. I don't think I've said that combination before, tushy cushion. Oh well. So from here, contract your belly button towards your spine and extend that leg up into the air. And you're also noticing, okay, is this one more easy to do towards your chest than far away compared to the first side? And you may have forgotten, that's okay too. And with the next inhale breath, belly expands, knee into the chest. Exhale, contract that belly, extend that leg out. Again, inhale, knee in chest. And notice if it feels different in the back side of the body when you do this too. So for some of this that maybe feel more grounded one side versus the other, this may be easier to do on that more grounded side. And you may not even notice that at all also. There may be more arc in your low back going on. Again, just some kind of things to be aware of. Notice if you can notice. And again, notice if there's kind of noise, little poppy sensations happening in the hip, happening in the knee. And let's do one more wherever you are, and then join me, knee back in towards the chest, and then maybe hands back behind there, or your strap back behind. And then let's start some point and flex on this one. So I try to talk so you don't hear my noisy feet. That's okay. Ankle isolation, again, that's good for, what is this good for? Keeping you to have better walking ability, better gait. I'm not able to do a low squat very easily unless I really, really work at it. And I know if I try to do a low squat that I would have better walking ability. So, something I got to work on. All right, ankle circles. Snap, snap. I can hear the snap. I can feel the snaps too. Maybe you heard that one. Maybe not. Got the fan on today. I don't normally have the fan on, so it's like, okay. Let's bring in a little bit of white noise into the room, a little shushy noise. And reverse. Go the other way. Does the shin feel tired? Are you feeling a little kind of, it's like a little bit too much, yeah? All right, and then you know what? Put the foot down, but you know what? We got to squeeze the belly button, bring that leg back up off the ground, and shake that leg and wiggle it. This is part of our lymphatic drainage that we do in the class. Lips got to go somewhere. And release. Let's do some of that internal and external rotation that I talked about. So basically, we start with windshield wipers. You're on the chair, maybe you have the balls on the feet on the yoga block. That allows you to kind of drop out to the side a little bit, but the leg closest to me, whichever one that is, let's drop the leg out to the side. So for me, most times this feels spicy. Not today though, I wonder why. But what I'll do, if I don't really want that leg to go all the way down, well, it's not all the way down, but sometimes it feels like I need a little support here. I'll slide that yoga block underneath. Now I'm on the side of the foot that's already, the knee has gone out to the side. I'm going to take the other leg, drop it towards the bottom leg, and I'm on the instep of the top leg. Now we're not trying to stack the knees on this one. But the top behind is rolled up and off the yoga mat a little bit, a little low lumbar twist. Sometimes this is spicy, so you may want to take either the heel of your hand or your thumb and press into the place of challenge, like a little counter pressure going on. And release. Squeeze the belly button, top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. All right, so you're back into constructive rest pose. Let's do the other side. So let's drop the other knee out to the side. So again, external, internal rotation going on with those hip joints. Good stuff, maybe kind of challenging. And then take that top leg, drop it towards the bottom leg. Now I don't need the block on this side. So again, you may feel this long, strong, lengthening sensation happening here, kind of from the top of the behind, maybe inserting into the side musculature. You may not feel this at all also. And again, if you want a little counter pressure going on, take the heel, take the thumb, take the fist, and press into that area. Sometimes it gives a little bit of relief if you're needing just a little bit, okay? And squeeze the belly button, bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. Let's do windshield wipers again. So again, we'll start with the first side, drop it out to the side, and then just take the other leg, drop it towards the bottom leg. Notice if you went a little bit deeper, a little bit more range of motion. Maybe not. Maybe it stayed the same. Squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. You can always use your hands to guide your body. And do the other side. So drop it, and then take the other one, drop it towards the other one. I got the wall here, so I can move away from the wall. Oh yeah, okay, so that made a little bit deeper range of motion for my body at this moment. And again, squeeze the belly button, bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. Very good. Now I'm going to look at my list here. You know what we need to do? We need to do a big toe hold. Grab your yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a long towel. You can use a tie. You don't have to use gear. And you can, if you don't have gear today, then you can go back and look at the video and do it with gear. So you're going to place a leg up into the air, strap along the bottom of the foot. Now you can rest the back of the heel to begin with. You're seated on the chair, okay? Just know that, all right? In fact, that's what I like to do is let that back of the heel rest on the floor. But you have to be vigorous wherever you are in this pose. What do I mean by that? You're going to take your strap and pull as if you're trying to pull your foot towards your face. And then I'm going to bend my knee and push the foot away. Now this is going to be challenging for some people's grip strength. So what you can do alternatively is use a looped strap, or bring your hands, towards the end of the strap and then wrap your wrists to have a little bit easier handle onto the strap. So you should be feeling this in the belly of the hamstring, back of the leg, maybe the back of the knee. You might want to bend the knee a little bit. Woo! When you do that, you'll probably feel it more in the calf also, plus the bottom of the foot. We have to stay in the yoga posture 30 seconds to have that bone building benefit. So this is like a little bonus yoga posture. Again, it's one of the postures for easing back challenges, plus builds bone, because we're stimulating the big muscle groups, which stimulates bone growth. But you have to pull and push to get that to happen. So that's why I say with vigor. Whew. Now, the other foot on the yoga mat, on the floor, tap, 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 that other foot. And then we're going to do like a counterbalance with that. Drop the knee out to the side, half of a windshield wiper. Now, the leg that's in the sky, let's drop it out to the side. And then re-engage that push-pull thing. So pull-push or push-pull. And then, so that leg out to the side, that's your ability to kind of have both behinds still on the yoga mat. So we don't have that opposite hip start to roll up and off, okay? And I'm using the back of my arm also as kind of a stopgap here to where I do not have to come down to the floor. But can I go a little bit more? Ooh, no, it's kind of spicy. If it's spicy, listen to your breath going in through the nose and out through the nose. Very good, very good. Okay. Squeeze the belly button, bring both legs back to the center. Now I'm going to sneakily bring my other foot next to my foot that has the strap and switch it out. So you do you, okay? Get it to the other leg. But before that, let's clap our hands, rub some circulation into the hands, because I don't know about you, but I'm really hanging on to that strap really vigorously, so I need a little stimulation in my hands. Bring life back into my fingers and the hand. All right, grab the strap, pull that strap, and I'm going to bend my knee, push the strap away. And when I do that, I also notice that my low back really pushes into the floor. There's like no little arc space, whatever you want to call that, in the low back. And I'm going to bring my hands down the strap a little bit. I'm flexing my heel, bending my knee a little bit. I'm making sure my foot's aligned with my shin knee. And again, we got to stay in the posture. If you want to bring your hands and wrap them around, please do so. Rest the back of the heel on the floor if you're seated doing this. Try to have a nice tall posture. Maybe you can bring your arms into the side of the body. Hopefully you have a nice long yoga strap to kind of make that happen too. I like my yoga straps long, so that works for me. But it just kind of depends what kind of gear you have on hand, right? Okay, so the other foot, tap, tap, tap. Yes, I have to talk for 30 seconds, y'all. And drop that knee out to the side. And that sky leg, whichever leg that is, drop it out to the side. Now be cautious, be kind. You don't have to go fast on any of this. I got the wall stopping me, thank goodness. But I'm still pulling and pushing into the yoga strap. My hands are starting to fall asleep. That's a sign that I'm really holding tight. You should be noticing your forearms being very active in this also. So a little bone building benefit for those forearms also. Woo! Keep on breathing. I feel like my yoga mat's doing weird things. It probably is. Okay. Staying in the posture, getting that bone building benefit. Gazing at the ceiling, noticing what's going on with the ceiling today. Not much. All right, squeeze that belly button towards your spine. Bring both legs back to the center. Release the strap from the foot. Don't let the strap bonk you in the face. And then once again, wow, clap those hands, rub those hands. Now we're going to try this. I don't know if it's possible. This is not one that's easily translatable to the chair. So those of you doing the chair stuff, I'm going to invite you just to breathe nice and slow or do the cat-cow, okay? Now, this is called block bridge. Oh, you know what? In the chair, you can also get a nice little activation of the hip musculature. So we're going to take that medium width of the strap or a bunched up towel or a bunched up pillow in between the legs. My yoga pant there. It's kind of in the way. And it's down a little bit from the knees. So rolling bridge, this is very interesting. I'm going to walk my feet a little bit in so I feel this little inner thigh business going on here. Now what I like to do is I like to roll up and kind of tuck my arm underneath and do the same with the other side because it gives me a little bit more of support in trying to do this yoga posture. Seated in the chair, you're just going to squeeze the tar out of that block, okay? And those of us lying on our back, maybe walk your heels towards your behind. And if you need to adjust your block a little bit, please do so. Okay. From here, let's inhale, belly big. Now exhale, push into the heels, push into the shoulders, lift the behind off the ground. Now I can't quite do this the first time around. I'm just like barely off the ground here. And then inhale, belly big. As you exhale, squeeze the belly button, roll your spine back on down. Now again, I'm going to walk my shoulders a little bit more in. Maybe that'll be a little bit easier this second time around. Woo! So again, squeezing the block, feet firm into the floor, pressing into my back of my arms, my shoulders. Breathe in, belly big first. Exhale, contract that belly button, push into the floor, raise your hip points towards the sky. So the second time around, I'm able to come off the floor a little bit. Woo! Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, roll your spine down. Relax your body into the floor. Okay, I'm going to move that block a little bit more. It's kind of gripping me there and need to be more close to the knees for me. One more, maybe two more times, all right? Strengthening that low back with this particular type of yoga posture. So here we go. First, breathe in, belly big. Contract that belly button and then squeeze into the block, press into the floor, lift up, up, up. Make sure the knees are not going out to the side. That's why we're squeezing the block, okay? Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale, roll that spine down. Very good. Take the block out. Those of you seated, you can do knees wide and do shoulder circles. Those of us lying on our backs, bring one knee into the chest and the other, knees wide, and do knee circles. So it's still getting into the hips, whether you're doing the wide shoulder circles, upper body circles, or if you're doing the wide knees circles. Let's pause and go the other direction. So this is like the counter pose for that rolling bridge pose. So some of us probably have some like bulging discs, misalignment of discs, scoliosis, the twisting of the spine. Sometimes those bridge poses can be very challenging. So again, listen to your body, okay? One more time all the way around, and then bring your feet back down to the floor. Come back to a nice neutral position, sitting on the chair. And let's do our piriformis bounce in our pigeon. So we'll bring one leg up into the air and shake it and wiggle it. Shake, wiggle, shake, wiggle. And then we're going to either cross it here on top of the ankle bone with the knee out to the side, or up here on top of the thigh. Now, if it's at the ankle bone, you're probably going to need that strap along the back side of the knee so that we can bounce this. So I'm going to just demonstrate that. So for that, you're pulling it towards you and letting it drop. Whether you're seated, whether you're lying here. If you're having it on top of the ankle, maybe you can take your hand and push the leg away. Or take your yoga block and help push the leg away. Or if you've got some good distance with your arm and your length of your torso, maybe you can bring it towards you and wiggle it away. So again, you got to warm up this muscle before we work it out. Or at least that's how I was taught for the back yoga methodology. So get a little wiggle business going on here. Of course, we shook it up in the air too, so that's good. And then we're going to make everything nice and still. So this is very challenging seated on the chair. So you have nice tall posture. And of course, we kind of have false posture here laying on the floor. So it's all good, right? We're going to take the top toes, point them towards the knee. So you've got that calf activated, whether it's on the ankle or on top of the thigh. Very good. Now, bottom foot, tap, 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 and then press vigorously into the floor. So you got some traction feeling going on here. Not so much seated in the chair, but still active bottom leg. Top leg, you're going to squeeze top bun, squeeze. And sometimes people can't squeeze top bun without squeezing the bottom bun. So squeeze both if you need to. You can take your yoga block or your hand and press that top leg away. Seated on the chair, be tall, and then place your hand on your top of your ankle, on the top of the knee, elbows out, and hinge forward. You're going to feel it in that opposite hip. Again, don't let it get too spicy. Return your attention to the breath. Everything activated, bottom foot, squeeze buns, press top leg away. Getting into the hip musculature here, okay? We're just trying to really get everything nice and loosey-goosey. Not as in it's going to be loose, but, if we're stiff, then we got to kind of work that stiffness out. Pigeon is a great one for that. It's great for lessening sciatica also. So some kind of bonus things happening here with our reclined pigeon or seated on the chair pigeon. And relax and relief. Woo! Shake that, wiggle that top leg. Now, if you take other yoga classes, they probably do the hip pigeon. But for those of us with back challenges, ooh, that can get really spicy. All right, so you probably have done some other classes where you bring that knee in between the hands with the hip bones pointed towards the floor. And so that causes a lot of asymmetries going on. And if, again, you have SI joint dysfunction, some other kind of, one hip higher than the other, it's not nice on the body. Let me just tell you that. I can just tell you that. And release. Wow, shake that leg, wiggle that leg, and bring it down. Let's do the other side. So the first thing we're going to do is bring the leg up into the air. I'm going to move my yoga strap. Shake it, wiggle it. Shake, wiggle, shake, wiggle. It's been raining all day today. Seems like yesterday too. So there's lots of humidity in the atmosphere here. And then place the foot either on top of the ankle bone or on top of the thigh. Make sure that ankle is past your thigh so you're not kind of knobbing yourself here. And then we're going to bounce the top leg. However, you can do that with a strap, with your fingers, with your yoga block. Now, you don't have to do this too vigorous, okay? Just know that. Y'all will also get a recording of this class, so I'll send that out in the follow-up email. Can you hear the train? Probably not. Okay. I live pretty close to a train track, so hear those trains at night, hear them when I'm teaching class. Okay, make everything nice and still. Now we're going to take top toes, point them towards your knee, whether it's on the ankle or the thigh, and bottom foot, tap, 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 and then press vigorously into that bottom leg musculature. Very good. Now, top bun, squeeze it, and sometimes squeezing it allows you to just naturally use your own body strength to push the leg away, or use your hands or your yoga block. Again, if you're seated, grab the top of the foot, the knee, elbows out, hinge forward with a tall spine. Don't let your head drop down towards your chest or make your nose look towards the sky. Keep the ears aligned with the top of the shoulders, okay? So you're just kind of like a door hinge. You're hinging forward, and then you feel that spice in the opposite hip. So seated pigeon gives you different feelings than reclined pigeon. So if you're used to doing reclined pigeon, someday come up and do leg on top and then sit up tall and hinge forward and kind of notice the difference, okay? All right, are you still pushing into the bottom foot? I'm going to say that yes, you are, okay? And top toes towards your knee, bottom foot firm into the floor, squeeze top bun, pressing the top leg away, or your own strength doing that. Woo! Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing, keep breathing. And relax and release everything. Yay. And then, kind of bounce that top leg a little bit, wiggle it. In fact, let's just kind of bring it up and off and shake it and wiggle it. Very good. All right. So bring both feet back down onto the floor. Let's do a windshield wiper just to test our internal, external rotation. So drop one knee out to the side. Was it easier to do? Mine just went down to the floor quick. And then other leg towards the bottom leg. Ooh, okay. So I don't feel the strong sensation anymore in the body. And I think that top leg is a little bit more towards the bottom leg. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine. We got to do the other side. Bring that top leg back on up, then the bottom leg, and switch sides. So drop the knee. Again, you're noticing what's going on with that back side of the body. And then drop that top leg. Ooh, very interesting. Very interesting. A little bit deeper into the posture maybe. You might feel more sensation because you are doing more movement. So that sometimes happens, okay? Squeeze the belly button. Bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. We didn't do it early on, but we're going to do it now, the notice posture. So extend one leg all the way down. Take your time. Sometimes the hips grab you here. And then the other. Move those shoulders, move those feet. Kind of windshield wiper the whole body a little bit. And then just kind of notice what you notice. We should have did that early on, but that's okay. We might still notice some differences later on. And then squeeze the belly button. Bring the leg back onto the yoga mat, and then the other. We're going to do block bridge next. So place this yoga block underneath and lay your top of your behind on the block. You're pushing into the block if you're seated in a chair. And we're going to lift up. Use your hands if necessary to lift up. And then you can do this also without the block. You just have your body on the floor. And then I'm going to walk my shoulders away, back of the head away, and maybe make a few little adjustments there. So you feel this kind of little traction feeling going on here. This is number one reason to have a yoga block, this posture right here, block bridge pose. So this may be where you need to be, just right here. So those of you that are seated in the chair, try this on the couch or the bed. The bed, kind of depends on how squishy your bed is, right? Some elevated surface, so you can kind of understand and feel this release that happens with the back side of the body. Now, let's do the lymphatic drainage. We're going to squeeze the belly button, lift a leg up off the floor. You can have your strap on your leg or hands on the leg. You're seated in a chair, and just shake the leg. And my yoga pant goes up my leg. Oh well. And then side to side. And back to shaking the leg. Sometimes side to side does not feel nice in the body. So, you may do like just a little bit, and that's okay. All right, and then bring that leg down. You may feel some sensation going on with the foot. Other one, bring it up and start that movement. Shake it side to side. And then maybe you want to do both legs. So maybe grab your yoga block, grab the floor, lift up the other one, and shake both. You're going to shake both however you can, seated on the chair, maybe alternating. You may be able to do both at the same time. Feet can be on the floor, and you're still shaking the legs, okay? You can use your hands to help shake the legs. Side to side. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I think this feels strange, side to side, but I do it anyway. And again. Now, let's bring one knee in towards the chest and take our hands and rub the back of the knee. Rub the side of the knee. Rub the top of the knee. Okay, let's do the other one. Rub the back of the knee. That's a lymphatic nest that hangs out there. The sides of the knees. And on top of the knees. Very good. Bring one foot down. Then the other. Then you're going to push into the floor. Raise up. Roll your spine down. Woo! And just, wow. Okay, notice what you notice here, okay? It may be different. Extend those legs. Let's just kind of see how it feels in notice posture. Again, you can do hips side to side, legs side to side, upper body side to side, and just kind of sink, settle. See how this feels. Very good. Squeeze the belly button. Slide a foot back onto the yoga mat, then the other. Now, I like to lift up first and then turn. That's because I have that SI joint weird stuff going on. And then I'm going to press into the floor with the hand that's in front of me, extend my top leg, come up to my forearm. Because sometimes when you're on the floor for a long time and you come up, there's like this dizzy business. That doesn't affect you, then you know what? Come all the way up. And you can either do this seated on a chair, seated on the floor, but if I'm seated on the floor, I got to use a blanket to give me a little height here. So I took a yoga blanket and I folded it into a nice little rectangle, or a big heavy towel, that works too. Or if you've got one of those fancy yoga cushions, that works too. All right, so what I'm going to do is take my behind, put it here on the edge of the blanket. Sometimes that's like fun to try to get into that posture. And I'll do crisscross, but sometimes, the knees are not cooperating. I may extend a leg out and maybe place the leg on the block, but I try to have a tall posture. And you know what? I just felt my flesh and just moved my behind out of the way because it felt like it was kind of like in a weird place, right? So again, all this strange stuff I'm telling you, right? We're going to do our unsupported twists. So if you take other yoga classes, sometimes they'll have you say, hey, take your hand to the opposite leg and then twist. Sometimes that's a levered twist and you twist more than you need to, especially for those of us with back challenges. We're going to do letter W shoulders or arms, and so you're squeezing those shoulders into the spine, yeah? So everything's nice and tight in the upper body. Now, pick which side you're going to turn towards with the squeezed shoulders. But first, we breathe in. And then belly button tight. Twist your body over to one side. So it's your thoracic spine doing the work. It's not the lever. It's the spine, okay? Breathe in, belly big. Exhale back to heart center. Now relax the shoulders. Let's just do a little shoulder roll here, because sometimes holding those shoulders vigorously can get a little tiring. And the other side. I love it. Kind of get into those muscles in the upper back. Yeah, the scapula, subscapula. All right, squeeze the shoulders. Whoop, back to squeezing. And then we're going to turn over to the other side. But you got to get your squeeze on. Breathe in, belly big. And twist, 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 twist. Ooh, now that opposite shoulder, I always lose it. That's okay. Breathe in, belly big. Exhale back to the center and release. Whew. Now, shall we wear our shoulders as earrings? We shall. We scrunch them up, and it looks really funny, right? And then release them down. Let's do that again. Scrunch them up and release them down. Beautiful. You know what? We're going to do a little tapping right here. So we're going to clap our hands, rub vigorously into those palms, create a little bit of circulation, a little bit of heat, move it into the fingers. Wherever you are, seated in the chair, on the floor, or standing, hand on your leg or, whatever, and you're going to tap, tap, tap on the outside. And get right here in the shoulder, just kind of really tap into that, and then flip your hand palm up, bring it down the front. Let's do that again 2 more times. Up the side, bone to bone business here, and down the front. 1 more time, here we go. Get into that shoulder, or you can pound with the fist. That's nice, yeah. And bring it down. Woo! Back to clapping the hands and rub. You don't have to make a big noise with that clap. You're just trying to get that kind of initiated in there, right? Create a little fire here. Okay, other one. Rest your hand calmly, your arm calmly, and start tapping on the other side. And then again, get into that shoulder area. Flip the palm, bring it down the front. 2 more times. Here we go. And down the front. 1 more time. I want to hang out here. Okay, and bring it down. 1 more time. Clap those hands. Just get some circulation going on here. We're going to do side lateral flexion on the next one. You may want to switch the legs. You may want to go to standing. You may want to stand behind a chair. It's okay either way. We're going to inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Keep one hand up, one hand behind you. Now squeeze the shoulder of the hand behind you. Okay, now you can be on your fist, your wrist, your yoga block. And then inhale, reach, 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 reach. Now belly button tight and then lean over. Now as we inhale here, try to reach again. Exhale, belly button tight. Bring it back to the top of the room and then float it down. All right, so you may know some stuff going on here with the shoulder joint, with the armpit, with the pecs. Take an opposite hand into your armpit and just kind of squeeze and rub into the armpit. It's another one of our places for lymphatic drainage, okay? And you may want to tap in the armpit. Very good. And I've had some heart surgery, so I have a lot of scar tissue on the sides of my ribs. So I like to do that to kind of loosen up that stuff that's going on there. Let's do the other side. So inhale, circle, sweep arms up. The other hand sneaks behind you. Squeeze that shoulder. Again, we're strengthening here. Whew. And again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, belly button tight. Lean that side body over. Stay here. Inhale, reach. Very good. Exhale. Bring it back to the top of the room. And then bring that arm down. Beautiful. We're going to transition to Flowy Cat Cow. It can be done seated on the chair, on the hands and knees. It can be done standing. If you have the gallery on today, Miss Vicky likes to do her cat cows standing. But she's not in the gallery right now. Okay, there she is. But you have to activate gallery view to see that. So Miss Vicky helps her husband, Rick, who's also a Veterans Yoga Project teacher, in some of the classes that he teaches. She'll show chair versions or mat versions of the poses that he does. So she's a great resource for helping us out here. So Flowy Cat Cow, traditionally it's hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. I'm not going to use my blanket today. My knees are feeling pretty good, but you know, your knees are feeling kind of spicy. You can also make a little wrinkle in your yoga mat, be on that little extra thickness with your knees, okay? So for Flowy Cat Cow, I'm going to keep my folded up yoga mat there. Your hands are more forward, a little bit more wider, and you're going to sink your behind towards your heels. Now I do curly toes, but you can do tops of the feet. You also lay down on your forearms, so it kind of makes your shoulder blades really accentuated here. I like to bring my elbows about a half an inch, 2 inches or so toward my knees. From here, let's inhale, drag your nose up in between your arms. Once you get to about wrist location, contract your belly button, hands firm on the floor, peel your forearms off the yoga mat, shift a little forward, contract the belly button, curve your spine to the top of the room for that cat. Exhale, lower back down to the forearms. Let's do that again. Inhale, drag it forward. Belly is soft. Exhale, contract. Peel the forearms off the yoga mat, shift forward, and curve back down to the heels. This is to lessen the excessive curves in the neck and the low back. Kyphosis, lordosis. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Exhaling. You still get the extension and flexion of the spine, though, which is very nice in your seated cat cow. And one more time. Inhale, drag it forward. Peel the forearms off, and exhale. From here, let's come up standing. So I'm going to take a leg out to the side, and I help it to go in between my hands. I don't have the chair over here today, so I'm going to use my fists and shift forward, curl that back toe, lift that back knee, and I come up a little bit, and I just take that back leg, hop walk it towards the forward leg. Nice bend in the knees, hands on my hips, and hinge on up. Woo! So when you hinge up, again, there can be some dizzy issues. So hands in towards your chest as I make my yoga mat smooth. It's not happening. And just kind of gaze at the floor here just to kind of get my equilibrium back into being steady. And if I ate right before I came into class, sometimes I kind of feel my stomach helping digest stuff, right? All right, I grab the chair for our warrior posture and our tree posture. And there goes my yoga blanket. Very good. And I place it here at the long end of the top side of the chair, or the yoga mat. We're going to step our feet wide, whether you're doing this seated, one knee over here, one knee to the front of the room. And if you're standing, lift the heel, turn the foot, bend the knee. All right, so you're doing letter L if you're doing the seated version. I'll check to see is my knee aligned with my foot, knee aligned with my knee. And I'll maybe bend my knee a little bit more. So I like the chair because it gives me a little bit more assurance for me, because I have lots of wiggly things going on here with my body today. Well, any day. And it just feels better in my body. So most the hips are kind of in the same kind of plane as the long end of the yoga mat. There's a little twist in there sometimes for women, maybe men too, depending on how tight they are here. But think about firm feet into the floor, and as if you were pushing the walls away from you with the floor. So you get into the hip musculature. Go back to that letter W with the upper body. Keep the squeeze of the shoulders as you extend the arms out. Now just know, maybe you need to do just one arm, and that's okay too, but keep squeezing the shoulders, whether the hand is on the chair or arm extended. Again, firm feet into the floor, squeezy shoulders, extended arms. You can look forward or turn your chin to look over the bent knee side. Now I do kind of spread out fingers. I'm shooting out spider webs on my fingers here. So it's not loosey-goosey arms, okay? It's like strong arms, letter T. They can be low. They can be coming out from the shoulders. Woo! Bring the hands back to heart center. The shoulders should feel nice, you know, because you're not doing so much of that, shoulders going out, so to speak. And then straighten that leg, pivot the foot, walk it in. Or jump it in. Some people jump their feet in. I don't do that, but some people do. Let's do the other side. So switch over to the other side of the chair if you're doing the chair version. Step those feet out, heel toe out, And then lift the heel, turn the foot. And I use my chair to help me do this. And bend the knee a little bit. So what you're trying to do is keep the shoulders over the hips. Yeah. Now we're just standing here, right? Let's make it more active. Press into the floor, and then as if you're trying to push the walls away, press the feet opposite ends, but not to where you're going to do a split. Go back to that letter W. Whew, arms. Firm feet into the floor. Squeezy shoulders. Extend those arms. Maybe bend the knees some more. Maybe not. It's okay either way. Again, whoa. I'm glad my wall's here. I'm kind of wiggly today, or I'd hang on to the chair, right? So sometimes I feel a little wiggly in the yoga posture because I'm really trying to be firm into the ground. Again, you can turn the head to look over that bent knee. Keep the breath smooth. And my heart rate's going up on this one. I can kind of tell there. I'm looking at my watch, yeah. And then bring the hands back to center. You can kind of feel the shoulder blades coming back to their normal position when you do that. In fact, let's notice that again. Go back to squeezy shoulders so they're kind of in towards the spine, yeah? Keep the in with the shoulders as you extend those arms out. Then bring the hands back to heart center. And just kind of notice that little subtle, they're going in and they're going back to their normal position. And I may just stay in the pose a little bit longer. Okay, straighten that leg, pivot the foot, walk it in. Whew. My goodness, okay. You know what? We're going to do something that we do in Tai Chi. I hope you all don't mind, but we're going to get into the hip musculature just a little bit more. So you may need a table or a chair or a wall to do this. But basically, we're going to point our toe kind of at an angle, point our foot at an angle here, and the other foot next to it. So we're going to bend both knees, and the leg that's to the outside, you're going to bring it up and out, and then back on in. And out, and back on in. I'm using the chair. You can use the wall too. So this is kind of like getting in and out of the car. But again, getting it, and if you need to take the hands underneath to make this happen, you can do this also seated in the chair. Okay, one more. Bring it back. Now, straighten up. Very good. Let's go over to the other side of the yoga mat. Again, I'm pointing both sets of toes towards the back end of my chair, bending my knees. I'm going to either place my hand on the wall or on the chair, and I'm going to lift that knee up and out. And again, you can grab your yoga pant to make this happen, or your pant leg. You don't have to have the hand underneath. You can also just do your own body strength. Just kind of notice what gets challenged here. One more, actually two more. And one more. And bring it in. Okay, let's do oppositional balance. So again, you can use the back side of the chair. You can do this without the chair. You can do this on the wall. So I'm going to demonstrate with the chair first. I'm going to step a foot back. And so I've got my bun kind of squeezed, and I'm on my toes. Let me see, bring that up a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to squeeze both buns and lift the opposite arm up. That can be a straight arm or a bent arm. I'm going to lean a little forward and lift my heel off the ground. And release. Okay. If you're seated on the chair, bent elbow, opposite knee, in towards the chest. Let's do the other side. So I'll show this on the back side. Hand on the wall. Step my foot back. Squeezing that back bun. And actually, I'm going to put both hands on the wall because I'm going to lift that heel and lift the opposite arm up. Or maybe I can do it without the arm. And release. Woo! Okay. Let's do that one more time each side. Let's see here. Maybe I can do both. I don't know. I'm going to step a foot back and lift the opposite arm up and lift that opposite heel up. Nope, I got to use a chair. And release. All right, other side. I'm going to do both elbows up, step that other foot back, get my firm base here, lift my heel, lift that opposite arm. Yeah, I got to hang on to the chair. I got wiggly stuff going on here. And release. Beautiful. Let's do our tree pose. You can use the chair, you can use the wall, you can use your yoga mat, use the block at the top of the chair. But we're going to step a foot out, lift the heel, turn the foot, come up on the ball of that foot. Make sure your balance leg is pointing at 12 o'clock, so I got to move mine a little bit. You can walk it in. Try not to have a jutty out hip, okay? Be nice and tall on that balanced side. Maybe you're here with your hands heart center. Maybe you can bring it into the calf. Got the wall here. I'm quite wiggly today. Whoa. Maybe you can bring an arm up, both arms up. Nope, just one arm. But you try not to have the leg that's out to the side travel to the front of the room. So do the best you can. It may be lower. It may be into the inner thigh. It may be not. I don't know. It feels kind of challenging for that knee today. So maybe it's here on the floor. That works too. And release. Little movement side to side. Kind of get stuck in that tree pose sometime, you know. And let's do the other side. So again, you step it out a little bit, lift that heel, turn the foot. Make sure, again, that's the balanced foot's pointed at that 12 o'clock position. Lift up. Again, this may be where you're going to be. Foot into the floor, ankle into the other ankle. You can also have the hand on the leg to make sure it's out to the side. So you can kind of feel the inner groin business going on here. You might feel the dance of the foot happening too. You might feel the hips kind of turning a bit. So again, do what you can with what you got today. And I'm hanging on the wall because I don't want to embarrass myself and fall out of the pose onto the floor, okay? So there you go. Woo! And really, were y'all holding your breath? I bet you were. Yeah, I can tell. We're going to come back down to the floor or, you know, back into your chair. And of course, I'm going to use my chair here. Come down. And let's go back to constructive rest posture. So another key for reducing chronic pain is to do a yoga nidra practice. We kind of do a little guided rest and relaxation in our classes, but that 30-minute or 45-minute class also can help with that because it goes through the different things in the brain that helps you to kind of let go of stuff and have a little bit less pain. So I like to do a yoga nidra when I go to bed at night. I have some recordings I listen to. And we have some recordings up on SoundCloud from Veterans Yoga Project. Some of my classes are there too. So just notice what you notice here lying on your back or seated in your chair. And let's do notice posture. Extend one leg, then the other. Again, do those little windshield wipers with the feet, the knees, the hips, kind of rolling side to side. And then just kind of sink and settle here. Now you can do palms up. What I like to do sometimes is just bend at the elbows, make sure my shoulders feel nice and relaxed, and place a hand on, like here on the low rib cage, then one right below that. So I can notice the belly rising as I breathe in and as I breathe out. So this may be the place where you want to be for guided rest and relaxation, or some folks, what they do is still have their feet on the yoga mat, their knees way far apart, like the width of their yoga mat, and then they drop the knees in towards one another and do, you know, the guided rest there. Or they'll put the calves on the seat of the chair or the legs at the wall. Or get comfortable in the chair. So I'm going to come up to the front of the room and do our guided practice as you continue to get comfortable in whatever place you need to be for this practice. So in Veterans Yoga Project, we do breathing, mindful movement, meditation, guided rest, relaxation, and that gratitude practice. All right, so wherever you are, just kind of notice if there's tension still being held in the body. Kind of check from the top of the head all the way down to the tips of the toes. And just, you know, identify if there's places that are feeling some tension. Yeah. And let's just kind of let go of the body, let go of the mind, just let the body soften, relax, release. Just notice that you're breathing. Don't change it in any way. Just notice, you know, what places in your body are moving as you inhale and as you exhale. Now maybe you've got like maybe a little towel over your eyes, or your eyes are closed, or you're gazing softly. Just notice the breath going in through the nose, down the throat, into the lungs, and then reverse of that. Exhale. Actually, when you become a little bit more relaxed, sometimes the breath becomes a little bit more shallow. So the belly, the chest doesn't rise as much. And sometimes it's a little bit slower. So just notice if that is occurring for you as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Listen to the sound that goes as you bring the air down the back of the throat, and that sound as you release it back the opposite way. Good. Let the shoulders relax, the hips, the legs, the feet, the head, and the whole torso. Just let it sink, settle into the chair, into the floor, into whatever surface is supporting you today. Let everything release, melt into that surface. Notice maybe the air conditioner or the heater. Notice the sound of the air coming into the room. Maybe you hear something down the hallway, outside of where you are. Again, just notice. Then from here, let's come back into the now, back into the present moment. So I invite you to move your fingers a little bit, move those wrists. Do the same with the feet, kind of move those toes, move the ankles, pump the calves. If you're lying on your back, maybe you can bring a knee into your chest than the other. If you're seated on the floor or in the chair, bring the knees wide and start once again those wide shoulder circles. And again, if you're lying on your back, wide knee circles, kind of doing a little massage for the lower part of the body. Go a little bit slower in those spicy areas. And then very slowly, let's pause and go the other direction. So start the movement in the other direction. Very good. A little bit of micro movements, kind of wake up that body just a bit. And then bring everything back to the center. So whether you're seated, whether you're lying on the ground, roll over onto your side, come up to a seated place. If you're here in the chair, come away from the back of the chair. Nice tall posture. Again, sometimes we can feel a little dizzy when we come up off the ground. So hands to heart center, chin to your chest, just for a moment here. Eyes can be opened or closed. Very good. From here, let's bring the head back to looking forward. And let's just place the hands together. We're going to do swimming dragon, just for rotation, range of motion in our neck. So place the hands one direction and turn the chin the other, nice and slow. Don't go too far. Don't go to the ouch area. And then bring it back to the center and push it the other direction. Here we go. Just kind of notice if you're hearing some sounds going on there. And bring it back to the center. Let's do spread the feathers. So spread the feathers, arm out to the side, and then you turn your thumb to the top of the room. Now my arm is a little bit higher than normal, but I want you to see it in the picture. And drop your opposite ear towards your shoulder, and then lift the chin. It creates a little bit more space in the carotid, a little bit more blood flow here. And then return it to the center. Let's do the other side. So again, spread out the feathers, okay, and turn the thumb to the top of the room. Again, my arm is normally lower. I guess you can still see it there, yeah. And then opposite ear towards the shoulder, and then lift the chin. Very good. And then bring it back to the center. Next is rotation of the atlas point. So basically, chin towards your chest, and then start that wide head circle. Be slow, be kind. Listen to the noises that might be happening. Once it gets to the chest, let's reverse it. Here we go. Very good. I hear a lot of noise going on in mine. And then bring the chin back to gazing forward. Eyes opened or closed. So for our gratitude practice, we typically either do hands together or hands to heart center, or maybe you want to do palms up in your lap. Either way is okay, okay? And let's just think about one thing that we're grateful for, or maybe an idea of gratitude. And whatever that is, bring that into your heart space. And I drop my chin towards my heart just to kind of honor me being grateful today. And then you can either keep your chin towards your chest or gaze forward, eyes opened or closed, as I say our ending sayings for the class. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, and the understanding, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. So this concludes our practice of gentle yoga for back care. I'm going to stop the recording